In the place where I'm from, everyone is a pirate. But now I migrated to European Union, like I did it 7 years ago, and I still believe that piracy is fascinating. I want to talk about it not from a perspective of capitalist critic, I just dislike this, but from a perspective of me, a person who does business, who works with lots of local and global businesses, a person who loves economy, and I would like to talk to you about why piracy is actually good for business owners, why it is good for our economic system, why it is good to you, and why it is good to our culture overall. I want to share this new perspective with you, to inspire you to do things, maybe not to inspire you to pirate yourself if you don't have a need for this, but to see all of this in a very new light, in a new way, and to give you some more ideas to create and to make. So reason number one is that piracy leads to better products. This was understood by startups and by technology firms even as early as 2000s. The fact that we now have Spotify, Netflix, before that we had iTunes, now we have lots of different services that work quite well. It is only because of piracy. At the beginning of 2000s, there was a lot of piracy going on with music. Well, it still is in my country, for example, where I am from, but all over the world, like everyone was pirating music in early 2000s, almost everyone. And this was broken by iTunes, because it was a genuinely much better product than what pirates could have made. It was much more pleasant, much more easy to use, much more comprehensive and understandable than in comparison Napster or other platforms where you could just download MP3. You could build a library, you could have recommendations, you could have a store that functions very well. And so this is one of examples how pirates actually led to a much better product. If not for pirates, we would be still living in a world with very, very bad services, both in our digital world and in our physical world. A model of distribution, when you have piracy, needs to be much better. Pirates do not really make a large sum of money in comparison to those businesses who have intellectual rights, and they do not have ability to make a great platform with great user experience. This is both in offline and online world. Pirates can't really make like an amazing offline store where they will sell it in a very good way, but well, those who have rights, those who have licenses to sell it, can, and they make now better stores. They need to make better stores both online and offline just to be in competition with pirates. So my first argument is because pirates spark competition and it leads to better products always, like always. And even though business owners like see pirates as something that that is harmful, that takes money from them, but it basically makes them money because they need to be better each year, each month, and to build a better thing for their users. But the second point is not less important because it's about culture, and it's important not just for countries that do not have access to a lot of licensed genuine products, but overall to everyone, to Western cultures as well. So, you know, when it comes to a lot of games, some music, some more obscure cultural things, some independent movies that came out in 2000s or earlier, or even in 2010s, many of them are now being lost, like right now in this moment. Many games that we were able to buy or to download like 10 years ago are not with us now. And even though our devices can play them, even though we can experience those things, those sometimes very cool things, I love a series of games called Driver. I love various indie games. I love some very old iOS games from 2000s, and many of them are not available now, and no one can play them just because they were not pirated enough. But in a comparison, it's a very good thing that we have pirates, because the only way to play Driver San Francisco as of now, as I see, is to pirate it. You cannot buy it. It's an amazing game, an amazing experience, very unique, and the only way to get it is just to download it somewhere from pirates. And maybe you know InternetArchive. InternetArchive is a large internet library of all internet phenomena, both films, short videos, music, applications, old software, manuals, etc., etc. And it stores terabytes and terabytes of cool, great info that is not available anywhere else. That is very specific and is needed both for research, for entertainment, for work, and just for hobbyists. And it is often the only way to get it, like archive.org and pirate torrent trackers. So they function as document storage, as something that actually archives all of our recent culture, and that we can share and learn from. That is important because like owners of those programs can just stop supporting them, not because they don't want anyone to use them, but just because well, it doesn't now make money for them, and there is no case for them just supporting it, leaving it on their website, distributing it in different stores, etc. So that is another case of why piracy is good, because it preserves our culture, and I experience it myself. But for people who live in third world countries, or like not in developed but in developing countries, let's say, piracy is like a key thing. It's the only thing that helps them to explore other cultures and the world overall, both in books, in music, in films, in games, and in every cultural sphere that is possible. Me growing up in Minsk, Belarus, in 2000s, there was almost no ability to buy licensed software, licensed games, licensed music, licensed videos, films. Most of them were pirated, like most of the market was just pirates. It was not a healthy situation at all. There was almost no competition that I said about at the first point between pirates and genuine sellers of the said product. But how it was great to have an ability to buy those things, to explore them. And quite ironically and sadly, that's the same thing is now in Eastern Europe, in my country, in Russia, in Ukraine sometimes, when a lot of services, a lot of films, a lot of game providers, a lot of other things are not now available once again, because of sanctions, because of political situation, because of different other complications, because of economic situation, etc., etc. And I can't imagine how useful piracy literally is to people who live somewhere in Africa, or in some regions of India, or in some regions of China, or even in some places like North Korea. It may be literally be one only single window to like a whole world. For me, growing as a child, like there were two windows like this. One was completely offline, it was encyclopedias that I received, and the other was all of those cultural phenomena which were always pirated. I think it is understood by those who own rights to products. The bad thing is when your market only has pirates and doesn't have your own product that is made in your country, and doesn't have those who sell genuine products with some better experiences. So I am always for healthy competition, for deregulation of many, at least cultural spheres. They shouldn't be as regulated as they are, because it leads to completely unhealthy situation, to lack of competition, to worse products, to worse user experience overall. So this next point is that in a context of difficult political situation, sanctions from other countries, economic downfalls, piracy is also a way for people to get to know this world, to explore it, to become someone, to make various things. So it's not only about like content, something that people consume, not only about art that people also see and view and inspire from, but about software that helps people to create. Because if I did not have pirated software at my early age, as when I was 13, I would never make films. I would not be able to literally edit movies. I would not be able to make art. I would not be able to start doing visual arts and design and all of that leads to my big solo exhibitions that I do now, to different events that I lead now, to dozens of films that made impact on my community and on my country and on this region overall. This all would not be possible if not for piracy. Think about how many good things, good artworks, good cultural phenomena and creators would be just lost and not able to do anything if not for piracy. This is not granted. Piracy should prevail, and you shouldn't lead an actual war against it. But if you are worried that pirates take your money, it's completely okay. It's understandable. Like, I also, as a person who owns a lot of intellectual rights to films, to artworks, I understand that at all. I totally get it. But the thing to do here is not to try to protect your rights with government and with stricter laws, but protect it with giving consumers, giving your customers a better product, give them a much better experience. And you can give it. I know that you can give it even on budget. It's about ideas, it's about attitude in many cases. Just not, do you not be that dull entrepreneur that tries to ban everything, to get everything as strict as it can be, but please make a better thing for people around you. That is also what I'm trying to do. Like, everyone can pirate things that I do. Everyone can like steal from them as much as they can. It's not like my permission. I do not give a permission to that, but I understand that it can be, and well, it happens. But what I can do is to make things very unique to me, better, more personal, more connected. I can actually build connections with people who buy from me, who like order films from me, who want to show my films somewhere, who want to host my events, etc. It's about connection, about making a better product, about aiding more to your local community and to our global village, let's say. So, and this endpoint that I say is that piracy makes people, businessmen, and communities more inventive. It makes consumers more inventive and people who get your stuff. But it also makes you as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as a creative professional, more inventive in various ways to do things. And this is a beautiful thing about piracy. So I just mentioned some points, I think 4 or 5 points, and maybe you can relate to some of them as well. Maybe you have similar stories to share. I would like to see your opinions. Maybe you disagree at all with me, so you may write it in a comment. By the way, I have put there in the description a Calendly link, so if you would like to talk and to get to know each other better, you can click it, and we will have a small meeting with a chat where we can talk. Would be very pleased if you clicked and if we got to know each other better. So thank you that you watched this till the very end. I will return in the next video on perhaps even more controversial and unusual topic. Thank you a lot, and goodbye.